So in this little video, we're just doing a quick work through the exercise from lecture 6 that we were asked to do. So I've actually just copied the image into AutoCAD just so I'm not switching back and forth between screens, and just so you can see what I'm doing. So we'll just get going. So I'm going to start off with the line command. So bring up the line command on the ribbon. I'm going to draw this 80 line here along the bottom first of all. So click anywhere, it doesn't matter where you click. I'm going to bring on the ortho command, point it in the right direction. So this is going to be 80. The ortho lets us draw lines perfectly straight. Okay, so that's our first one. Then the next line we're going up is going to be 60 units long. 60 like this. Okay, so the next line we're going to do is going to be this 67 degrees. So I'll just highlight here with the blue selection thing. So we want to draw this line here. It's going to be 65 units long. It's going to be rotated at 67 degrees. So there's a few different things. This might be a bit confusing for you. So the information you're given here isn't exactly the information you need. You might have to kind of think about it and work things out. But there are a few different ways you can do it. So just to show you a quick example, I'm going to draw the line the correct length. So it's going to be 65 units long, which we have there. And if we want to rotate this, we want actually to rotate it. It's going to be 67 degrees from the vertical line we just drew, which is 60 units long. But if we rotate to 67 degrees, it's not going to work. So we know this, if you know your right angles, this is 90 degrees. So if this rotates 67 degrees, it's going to go way down here. Show you quickly just for example. So, and again, is it going to be minus or plus 65 degrees? Do we want to rotate in a clockwise direction? It's going to be minus 67. So obviously that isn't correct. If you went plus 67, it would shoot up that way, which still isn't correct. So what we actually have to do is, if we know this angle here is going to be 90 degrees, we actually want to rotate the angle so that the distance between the line and down here is going to be 67 degrees. We're going to take 90 degrees minus 67, which is going to give us an answer of 23 degrees. So if we click on the line, bring up the rotate command, so just click on rotate up here, select objects. I've selected the line, spacebar or enter, select your base point. This is our point which we're going to rotate it, and we're set 23 degrees. And remember, it's going to be minus 23 degrees because you want to go in a clockwise direction. So minus 23, and there we go. So we have our line at 67 degrees. Now there's a few different ways you could have done this. You could have drawn a line on top of this one and then rotated up this way, or you could have drawn straight this way and rotated it. There's loads of different ways you can do it. Usually in AutoCAD you can do things about 3 or 4 different ways, but whatever works for you works. Okay, so the next one we're going to do is the line here, so the 45 degree line that's rotated at 99 degrees. So one of the best way to do it is, so I'll do it a different way to the last time. So one way you can do it is you can actually draw lines over each other. So see when this little kind of triangle comes up, that just means I'm snapping onto the midpoint. If you see the little square, it's going to snap onto the end point. We're going to cover this in the video in a few weeks. So I'm just going to turn my ortho off for the moment. So if you just leave your mouse hovering over one of these grip points, and I'm going to draw the line that's going to be rotated 99 degrees is going to be 45 units long. So I'm going to type in, draw a line on top of the previous line at 45 units long. Just escape here. So when I hover the mouse over it, you can see it's being highlighted. So I'll just zoom in a bit better so we can see a bit more. Bring this closer. So I've drawn a line 45 units long, and it's on top of the 65 units long. So if I want to click the 65 one and click over here, but if the 45 one, because that was the most recent one, that's going to be the one on top. So click it here, you'll see that's our 45 degree line, or 45 unit long line. And now we want to rotate this 99 degrees, so I'm going to bring up the rotate command, specify our base point. So our base point is going to be at the bottom, and we want to rotate it clockwise 99, so we're going to type in minus 99, and there we go. Easy enough. Now we'll just zoom in a bit there. So the next one is going to be just straightforward enough. It's going to be straight up 30 units long. So ortho on, and 30 units, easy peasy. Now the next line has to be rotated. It's going to be actually rotated 139 degrees from this point down here. So there's a few different ways to do it. I'll draw the line first of all, the correct length. It's going to be 36.25. So you can see that's the 36.25 line. Obviously we're going to have to rotate it, so I'll bring up the rotate command, and it's going to be rotated around this point here. So I'll just turn off the ortho. So we can see now it's going to be roughly somewhere along this line here. So, but we have to kind of figure out what exactly we need to rotate it clockwise a certain number. So you see on the instructions it's going to be, it says 139. So if we draw it up here at the moment, currently in its position, this is the middle of the line here. So this angle here from one end to the other is 180 degrees. So like you have in a circle, it's going to be 180 either side. So a circle is 360 degrees. So from this one here to this angle here, it's 180. And if we know this line is actually a gap of 139, all we have to do then is take 139 away from 180. So I'll bring up the rotate command, click on our line, hit enter, select our base point. And remember we said we wanted to rotate it 180 minus 139, which is 41 units, or sorry, 41 degrees. And we want to do it clockwise, so it's going to be minus 41. And there we go. There we have our line 36.25 long and an angle of 139 from here. Next one, we're going to go down 8 units, so this is a straight line. So sorry, let's press the wrong button. Straight line, so click on the end of the end point of that line, point it down 80, ortho on all the time. And the next one, now this is a bit tricky. Obviously you can't continue this one from here. Well, you could if you wanted, but there's an easy way to do it, because it's usually when you get into, if you're closing a shape, you can just join the line. So down here we'll see there's actually, this line here is 15 units long straight up. So if you draw this line 15, now to get this line here we don't have to do any rotating because we have to do endpoints. We're just closing it off, so we can just click here and click here, and then we have our shape completed. Straightforward enough. Well, straightforward enough because I've done it about 15 times now at this stage. And a quick practice before I recorded this video, so I knew what I was talking about. So now the next thing we are asked to do is just going to be mirror this command. Again, this is practice to use the mirror command. So I'm going to select everything, bring up the mirror command, press MI on the keyboard for the keyboard shortcut. Specify our first mirror line. So this is basically the point at which it's going to be mirrored. So I'm going to click this point here. And you see now if I do it freehand, it's going to go this way. So it says specify your second mirror point. So you can use actually a point on this on the shape as our second mirror line. So give this a click, hit enter, and it's asking us to want to erase the source object. I can't remember what we said in the notes, so I'll just say no. So now that's the end of it. Now we have our kind of strange Viking symbol helmet. I don't know what you would call it. Could be a bat symbol, I'm not sure. We'd go for Viking helmet. And that's it. So straightforward enough. You just have to think about what commands you're going to use. So the information that you're given in this little diagram here, even though you're given the angles and watch the different screen lines, you're actually going to have to maybe think about it, not just use those angles that you're given. You might have to take them away from 180 degrees or 360 degrees or rotate them from different points. So the information that you might be given in a handout or in a drawing, you just have to put a bit of thought and a bit of abstract thinking on how you're actually going to achieve that. So again, this is a nice little practice one because it gets you thinking about how to work out the angles. Okay, that's all we're going to do for this one. So a nice short video. So if anyone has any issues with the exercise, just watch this and you can follow along. If not, you can submit this through Brightspace if you like. If you've got this far and it looks good, there's no need to submit it. If you have any issues with it, you can submit it and I can have a look at it, or we can talk about it on Thursday night. But otherwise, I will see you in the next class. Okay, thanks. Bye bye.